You're back? Well, that's just great.
I cleared out all the bristlebacks.
Oh, you did?
Now that you've recovered from your shock, time to blow the whistle.
Oh there, not so fast. I'll have to send someone out to confirm the kills. Make sure the valley is safe again. It shouldn't take more than a day. Or two.
No. You blow the whistle now.
These are innocent Osram lives we're talking about here. Surely the delay...
Either you do it now, or I will.
Ah, I knew you could do it! Friends, gather around. The savior of Meridian has done it again.
What?
The bristlebacks are defeated. You.
What?
Sound the whistle. Chainscrape is open for business.
Terrific. Yay.
And Ulvund has agreed to personally pay every worker their lost wages.
Yeah.
That's more like it.
Yeah. Woo.
Ha
Yeah. Yeah. Don't you have an embassy to get to?
Yeah, I guess I do. Well, the Chainscrape's back to work. Merchants should be open to trade. I should see if they have anything useful before I send Vuadis off to Barren Light.
Come on, anyone! Make my day!
Is that a Nora I see?
I didn't do nothing.
Ulvund can't just ignore us like this, can he? We almost died because of him. Have you seen us? What are we supposed to do?
Have Arno throw his crutch at him?
I see you all made it back.
Hammer and tongs. That they did, Huntress. They tell me you blasted through the problem. Lokuf here came back trembling like a twig.
Hey!
What's important is everyone made it out.
No thanks to Ulvund.
Have you talked to him yet?
We're on the waiting list.
Doesn't have the guts to face all of us at once.
We need to stick together, in case he decides to send his goons over.
You're all banged up as it is. I can deal with Ulvund. You don't need to stick around.
We know, you old hammer.
Just stay safe.
Hey! I thought you'd left by now!
One,
Ralph, someone...
Can't you see I'm trying to drink here?
you just interrupt everyone you meet, or am I a special case? Wouldn't hold your breath. That hair was good on me.
Brought out only the good stuff for you, Red. Seeing as you got that whistle blowing.
Hey, I've been waiting to get my lucky hammer fixed for days.
You haven't done anything useful like getting rid of any bristlebacks, though, have you? Take your time. I promise you won't be disappointed. Come back anytime.
Now can I get this fixed?
I can fix your tools. Afraid there's no fixing you.
Why don't you bring that phony ass voice over here and say that again?
Nora in the dumps. Under the table. Now I've seen everything. Can't go to work with a broken hammer.
You're gonna have a heart tomorrow.
What?
You could always get a new one, you know?
You can't just replace a lucky hammer.
It's really attractive when someone knows how to tickle. What?
Someone said I had the best singing voice in all the dogs.
Inspiration. So you got a lucky hammer that needs fixing, huh? Okay.
I'll have you know, this here hammer got a scrap. Don't know what's worse, walking through a town full of drunks or having to look at them sober.
The tavern's brewmaster can't be too happy that whistle blew, that's for sure.
You look like someone who needed you. That should offer you protection.
I think I've had too much to drink. Is that a Nora?
So I got time. Pretty sure it's your round. Can't be my round.
Fire thing, huh?
Bet Vuadis throwing a party for himself. Everyone going back to work and all.
Doubt it. Javad's smart. He knows this won't be...
The way to Barren Light is clear. Get moving.
You're not errand vanguardsman. I will move only when the captain
When
says...
I've cleared out all the bristlebacks, which I have. Captain's orders.
So they're okay?
Banged up, but breathing. And waiting up ahead for you.
But I was supposed to have 3 escorts.
I'm off to Barren Light, Vuadis. Like Aloy said, captain's orders. You can stay here.
Abandoned to the riffraff? I think not.
Guess you're coming with me then. See you there, Aloy.
Well, now that that's done, the embassy can finally get underway. If I can get through it, I'll be able to track down Silence. Hades. Maybe even a Gaia backup. Guess I could head straight for Barren Light. Or poke around the Daunt some more first. And maybe take Petra up on that drink.
What? Barren Light?
About time that whistle blew. Thanks for bringing it up.
Ulvund must be.
Telling others.
Let's get 2 orders of roast beef. Ready to put fire to the
My cup is empty. Fix it.
That's
right. Thought was gonna give me your boss.
Aloy, change your mind about that brew? Come for that beer after all, eh? Here, sit down. Get a pint in her hand. Wasn't expecting you to swing by.
Since when do I do what's expected?
There's that spark. Fire and spit.
Fire and spit.
That's a blast from the bellows. Won't fix the forge, but at least I can forget about my troubles for a while.
Like what?
Well, things aren't as bad since you got this place running again. But we still got Ulvund grating the gears about his concession decree. If you don't put that down, I'll come over there and show you how that game ends. Anyway, right now, I'm just worried about those refugees out from Sunfall. To come all this way enduring Forge knows what.
Yeah, I saw. They won't let anyone up the old trailhead southwest of here.
And therein lies the problem. A Stormbird crashed up on the cliffs last week, and Tolland Cleanbroker's had his eye on the salvage ever since. But the refugees have barred entrance. Mustn't interrupt their sun-scorched ritual. Something about finding a Twilight Path.
Huh. I never heard them talk about that before.
Yeah, well, these particular Shadow Carja are an odd bunch. But overall, they're peaceful folk. Not that it matters to Tolland. He'll crack some heads to get to that salvage. Maybe you could swing by, convince him to set up camp somewhere else?
So the bristlebacks in the Daunt.
You're a pig. Blasted things, those bristlebacks. They just showed up one day, rampaging around the valley like they exploded out of a forge. Lost some good people. But bless the bellows, you cleared them out and got this place working again. That put a dent in Ulvund's plans. Now, if only there were some way to smash them all together and run them out of town.
But how could bristlebacks in the Daunt help Ulvund?
2 words. Concession decree. Since no one knows where the bristlebacks came from, Ulvund has taken to blaming the Carja for them. He's hoping to dig up enough old resentments to get a strike going until the concession's signed. This is just his latest attempt. He's been trying to rile up the workers since the day he rolled into town.
About that, I think the bristlebacks came out of Ulvund's old mine.
Now there's a spark that could light a fire. Can you prove it?
I'm working on it.
By the forge. Grab my ear if you nail it down.
Well, if I'm up that way, I'll talk to the refugees. Try to convince them to move.
Much appreciated. They have it rough. Don't need Tolland making it rougher.
This Tolland guy might still be in Chainscrape. I could have a word with him first.
Making sparks fly out there?
What else can you tell me about the Shadow Carja refugees?
Well, they don't call themselves Shadow Carja for one. At least, not anymore. They're some other brand of sun-crazed. But whatever side of the sun they're on, they're peaceful through and through. Don't seem to want for nothing except a place to live, pray, and just enough food to keep from starving.
So they're just camped outside by a trail, blocking entry to a wrecked Stormbird, waiting for what exactly?
Don't rightly know, but I'll tell you this. Should they ever wise up and salvage it, a Stormbird heart is worth a lot. And if they get there first, then by Ostrom law, it's theirs. Not that Tolland Cleanbroker has ever lost sleep over any law breaking.
I thought you'd be back in Free Heap.
Well, after the big battle at Meridian, I went back. But realized it was running smooth. Didn't need me. Heard about the rebuilding out at Barren Light. Figured they could use another hammer. Been scraping by ever since.
You could always leave.
And go back east? Nah. I ain't one to leave a lit forge. Besides, someone's gotta be a squeaky wheel for the workers around here.
So about Ulvund.
Around here, everything's about Ulvund.
How'd he end up in charge?
He got here early, like a squirrel smelling a fat nut. He knew rebuilding Barren Light would need stone and timber. So he jangled purses all over Mainspring, getting investors to front claims on anything in the Daunt that might be worth a damn. Thing is, all the bankers back home know that this is Carja land, and the Sun King can revoke those claims at any time. That's why he's desperate for the magistrate to sign off on a concession decree.
Who is this Tolland Cleanbroker?
Just some chuff-huffing pondsman. Got a shop here in town. Lived in Chainscrape since there was a Chainscrape. He and Ulvund go back a ways. Like a pair of coals and a campfire, those two.
So Tolland works for Ulvund?
Ha! Ulvund might think so, but Tolland scrapes up his own scams. And he ain't the type to let a few refugees get between him and Stormbird salvage.
This concession decree, what is it exactly? And how would it help Ulvund?
It's pig diddle, that's what.
A writ that would put all Osram claims in the Daunt under Osram law, even though they're on Carja land. It would mean that any existing ore, stone, and timber claims couldn't be revoked by the Carja. No more risk, no more hesitation for investors back in the claim to pour in the shards and expand their business. And since Ulvund has a stake in all those claims, it would make him richer than a scrapper in a junk heap. Not to mention Chainscrape would become an Osram municipality, so he could buy enough votes to call himself an elderman. He's a sly old badger, I'll give him that. Figures if he keeps up the pressure, eventually the magistrate will sign.
Well, I have to be going. Thanks for the drink, Petra. I'm glad I stopped by.
Anytime, Flamehair.
could get around faster if I find a charger to override.
Them Shadow Carja are taking a beating!
Those people are under attack.
Hey! You up there! Aren't you gonna help?
Not my job. I'm just here to keep an eye on things for Chainscrape. Not looking good, folks! Petra! Always wanted to see the savior of Meridian in action!
Oh, that helps.
You know, even if you kill these machines, that Shadow Carja ends.
No shots left. That's the last of them. Better check on the refugees.
Guess the show's over.
I'll need these later, for sure.
Is it bad, Carja?
Shh, now. Everything will be fine.
Is everyone okay?
Bruised, but not buried. Our order will live to see another day.
Are you sure about that?
We're no strangers to hardship, Nora. We've crossed half the Sundom with no more than the clothes on our backs. And as soon as our Sun Priest returns, our path will be clear. For now, we wait.
Well, you're better off waiting somewhere else. Your people need shelter. There's a town east of...
Chainscrape. Yes. We know of it. Savohar says it's not suitable for us.
Who?
Our Sun Priest. Our order has made it this far thanks to his guiding light.
Okay, and where is this Savohar?
He went up to the tower to meditate 3 days ago, and he won't come down until the sun shows him the way to our new home. The fallen Stormbird is an omen, he said. And of course, it must be.
I see. And how long do you plan on waiting for him?
Until he returns. He will return. He must.
There's an Oseram in Chainscrape, Tolland. He wants the Stormbird up there.
Yes. He was here just yesterday. A very unpleasant man, even by Oseram standards. He made all manner of threats. But we will not be intimidated.
That's all well and good, but he's got friends. Sooner or later, his whole gang will show up.
Savohar will come through. He always does. We just need to give him more time.
You're out of time, Lakasha. You need to consider packing up and—
We won't leave him. And we won't let others disrupt his meditation.
Well, they're going to try. Your priest, Savohar. You said he's been up there 3 days?
His meditation can't be rushed.
So he does this often? Meditating for days on end?
Well, it doesn't usually take this long. But he will guide us through. He always has. We have faith.
Sure. But shelter looks like a more pressing concern. You're Shadow Carja, aren't you?
We are the Order of Twilight.
The difference being?
When the usurper Avad killed his father, we fled with the Carja in Shadow to Sunfall. Our lives there were difficult. Savohar saw our misery, lifted us up, protected us from the corrupt priests and heartless kestrels. When their rule ended, Savohar led us from the Shadowlands. The long night ends, and the setting sun will lead us to salvation, he said. And so he named us the Order of Twilight. We journeyed west in search of a better life.
Why didn't you go back to Meridian?
Avad is a patricide. We will not kneel to the likes of him. We must walk in Twilight to our new home. Savohar will lead us there.
Uh-huh. Look at yourselves. Those machines nearly wiped you out. And Oseram thugs are watching you, just waiting to strike. You're in danger here. You need to grab Savohar and get out.
Our situation. This is the worst we've endured. I know we cannot stay here, but without Savohar to guide us, I don't...
Let me up there. And I'll convince him it's time to move on.
But his meditation... If he hasn't received his vision, he won't follow.
At least let me check on him. If he's been up there for days.
Yes. Yes, that is sensible, I suppose. Please, be careful. The trail up to the tower's falling apart. Savohar is strong, but it could not have been an easy climb.
It rarely is.
Let the Nora pass.